How do you do, fellow kids? We're totally down with your out-of-sight trends and totally rad opinions on what it takes to be cool as heck these days. And we found out just what makes you teens tick, whether you like it or not. So buckle up, Generation Z. We're gonna let you know what you're into based on the only tangible source of information available, data collected by Google.
That's right, if you've watched any of our Tech Tuesday episodes over the last 2 years or so, you'd probably be aware by now that anything that you say or do is not only being tracked, but also analyzed and used to market things to you based on your established purchase habits, your transaction frequency, your travel habits, and what you use to connect with your friends and loved ones. They've also done some survey stuff to analyze recognition, so that's a little less creepy, but let's see what they've got on Generation Z nonetheless.
Yeah, let's rap for a second.
The last generation of all time.
Yeah, we'll give you the 411, AKA the skinny, on what the hell we're talking about. Recently, Google released a document called, and no, we're not joking, this is the actual title of the document, It's Lit, a guide to what teens think is cool. And it's also referred to as a magazine in here instead of a document, or also as a cool book. If you were wondering if this whole thing was gonna be written as out of touch and as business savvy as possible, well, congrats, you're cool and correct. It opens with the following statement, which is both lame and unsettling.
The purpose of this magazine is to provide a glimpse into the world of teens in the US through the lens of what they find cool. Cool is an indication of what people pay attention to, what gets them excited, and can often act as a manifestation of their hope and dreams. Unlike millennials, this group is ambitious, engaged, and feel like they can change the world. For Generation Z, what's cool is also a representation of their values, their expectations of themselves, their peers, and the brands that they hold in the highest regard. What you're looking at is proprietary research conceived and executed by the brand team for consumer apps at Google. We hope it serves as a glimpse into the minds of the most informed and connected generation yet. Gen Z.
It got real weird towards the end there.
It's hard to be a 90s like Gushers advertising voice for that long.
Yeah. Now, this thing is broken down into two main chapters, defining cool and brand coolness. And then they also go into their own subcategories. And we're just gonna give you a general summary of the totally tubular facts that they've collected from you, or I hope your younger siblings, to let adults know how to connect with the youth of today. One useful feature is the actual definition of Generation Z. Usually everyone is lumped into the gigantically broad category of millennials, but Generation Z is more specifically targeted and also sounds very dystopian because you could easily call Generation Z the last generation.
Yeah.
Z is the last letter of the alphabet, and the world could end at any moment once we enter a nuclear war. I almost fucked
Yeah,
up.
you did
Nuclear war with North Korea and Russia. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, they define it as, quote, those born between the mid-1990s to early 2000s. This research is focused on 13 to 17-year-olds.
A totally cool generation of people who don't remember the world before 9/11.
These are the pre-9/11 dudes. Anyways.
The airport has always been a pain in the ass for these cool kids.
Yeah.
We've never not been at war in the Middle East.
Yes.
Whoa!
Anyway, we're just gonna go ahead and read some of the fun stats that are laid out in this document, and we will leave a link to the full thing in the description below so you can check it out for yourself. Warning, some of this information might shock you in its absolute rad predictability and outright blandness. Defining cool. Teens feel that being cool is just being yourself. Embracing what you love, rejecting what you don't, and being kind to others. Just all about good vibes.
Today's teens are smoking more weed than ever.
The activities they think are cool represent their generational power struggle between technology and RL. Real life. You ready for a gender gap? According to this report, males are more likely to be persuaded that something is cool by fads or lads.
AKA their friends.
Females are more likely to determine something's cool based on how it makes them feel.
Aww.
Boys like technology, sports, video games, and general media entertainment more than girls. Ew. Girls like fashion, clothes, music, school, art, animals, nature, and people more than boys.
We didn't make the data.
Wow, this is getting real fucking regressive.
All you guys made this data. They do want the pink aisle back at Target.
Yeah, I don't know why we can't sell child-sized, like, full kitchens for my daughter to pretend to cook in and prepare her for her life as a mother and housewife.
Google obviously knows that she loves it.
Yeah, the data is here.
Yeah, and boys love general media entertainment.
Yeah.
More Transformers movies.
Bam.
Snapchat and Instagram completely dominate their social media habits, but this data appears to be compromised as far as we're concerned, because there's no fucking way that teenagers are using Google Plus more than Twitter and Pinterest. That's wrong.
That's based on YouTube accounts.
That's true.
It's gotta be it.
The kids are loving Google
Oh,
Plus.
they love Google Plus. So much content.
Yeah. I love the way I can share things and connect with circles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please join my circle.
iOS and Android are nearly tied for smartphone use, with iOS barely squeaking by with a little bit more, but it looks like a whopping 9.6% don't use a smartphone at all.
Because their parents are fucking narcs.
No, it's probably because they got it taken away for sexting with Brad.
Oh, fucking Brad.
You know what they say? You can't trust Brads or Chads.
Yeah.
That's not a Google stat, that's just good advice.
Yep.
It also seems like the ability for teens to discover new music is seriously fucking lacking these days, because the most mentioned artists on this list are The Beatles, Coldplay, Fall Out Boy, Panic at the Disco, Beyonce, Drake, and, okay, 21 Pilots, they're kind of new. Hey kids, listen up. If you want to listen to artists that have been around for over a decade but are still releasing good music, try Mastodon. New album, just came out.
I'm sure a few of them do. Anyway, the most popular games for teens? Well, it's another category filled with dated titles. Counter-Strike, Minecraft, Pokemon, Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, and The Legend of Zelda.
Legend of Zelda.
Yeah, that's the new spelling, guys. Anyway, the coolest streaming platforms are obviously YouTube, Netflix, Spotify, and for some reason, Hulu. And of course, their favorite foods are pizza and Oreos.
Oreos is mentioned by brand name many times in this document.
Funny that Oreo's still doing good even after
That's because they're vegan.
they're getting boycotted by the Donald Trump MAGA army.
Well,
I will never eat an Oreo again. It's all Hydrox for me from this day forward.
I eat Duvalin.
You know Hydrox actually came out first? Oreo completely stole their idea and marketed it better.
Now you go to the 99-cent
fact.
store, pick up some Duvalin.
Yeah.
Great Oreo knockoff. Also sounds like medicine.
Yeah.
Fun.
Hey, here's a fun quote from a real 17-year-old from Utah. When I think cool, I imagine companies that do great things for customers and employees, or beautiful or unusual products. That's a totally real quote that rolls off the tongue as if it were the 17-year-old saying it naturally.
I like brands that do things for their companies / employees. I'm not a thing cooked up in a lab. Anyways, when it comes to brands, how are we different? What do millennials? What do we like that the last generation doesn't? And vice versa. Well, speaking of Vice, for some reason Generation Z fucking hates Vice. It scored the lowest in brand recognition and loyalty on this list. Also, the Wall Street Journal, which this is even before all those WSJs started reporting YouTube videos and getting advertisers to pull their sponsorship. So they've been hated for a while. This is nothing new. They also hate Sprint and Yahoo. I would venture to say it's because they have no idea who that fucking Can You Hear Me Now guy is. So it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that was
to
so
them.
weird they brought back a pitch man from 10 years ago when like anyone this age would have no idea who that is.
They hate Sprint and Yahoo, and that's probably because neither of them matter anymore until some major mergers happen, and then they'll just force themselves on all of us in new and exciting ways.
Yeah,
Can't
radical.
wait.
Millennials like PlayStation. Generation Z likes Xbox.
Men are from Mars, women are from Venus.
Millennials like HBO more than Gen Z, but they like it too. We millennials like In-N-Out, but they like Chick-fil-A.
But I like Chick-fil-A too.
Yeah, I like them both.
I like PlayStation and Xbox. Why are they trying to separate us like this? They're driving us
They're
apart.
driving a wedge here. Generation Z does not give a shit about car brands, because they can't drive yet, but millennials like Uber more than most, because you can't ride in an Uber until you're 18.
Oh, you can't? Is that true?
Yeah, it's in the,
Really?
I mean, people get around it, but like, yeah, it's in the rules. You have to be 18 to
What
ride.
about Lyft? Is Lyft the company for cool kids?
No, I
I'll
think
let you smoke in my car.
it's like 18, I think, on all of them for like liability purposes.
Yeah, you'd imagine. I guess I
Yeah.
never thought about it till
Yeah.
now.
Anyway, yeah, it's all boring, inconsequential shit. Unless you're an aging marketing executive for a brand that is desperate to connect with younger demographics. So what the hell did any of us normies learn from all this polling, research, and data? Well, pretty much nothing. Not much has changed as far as trends amongst the most easily impressionable teens out there, except for the fact that they've never lived in a world without an internet connection. And even though they're constantly connected to the biggest form of information possible, they for some reason can't discover new music or video games. Sad.
I guess there's no helping.
Yeah. I mean, the Beatles, pretty good.
It's fine.
Timeless,
Yeah.
but like that list reads off like that could have been 2004.
Yeah, except for 21 Pilots, which They had the Suicide Squad song and some other ones.
Yeah, but 21 Pilots did that like.
Cut my life into pieces.
I think you're right about that.
Yeah,
I'm
probably,
not going to argue it.
Probably, sure.
What kind of Generation Z are you? Leave your comments below about how this doesn't represent any of us, and these kids must all be super lame because I'm a totally unique snowflake and could never be pinned down by a bunch of ad executives and data analysts. I poke badgers with spoons.
Yeah.
If you're actually cool though, maybe you should
raises spork.
check out our gaming channel, ETC Party Time. We're a lot more active on it now. That's where Tugs lives, and we also play some fun party games. Just yesterday, we played the cool hip Generation Z game, Gang Beasts, and boy was it frustrating. Click here to watch that. Go subscribe to that channel, and we will see you guys next time.
That's not me at all.
Catch you on the flip.